So what is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the best settings that you guys can change in the Division 2 during Title Update 14 that can definitely help you guys out. Now this video will definitely be for more of you new returning players who haven't played in a while, that you might have forgotten to change these once you guys got back, or they might have been settings that you guys never knew about. So what we'll do is we'll get into all the settings that I use and that a lot of you guys will use. Now I will tell you I am playing on the PlayStation 5, but these settings are going to be more about in-game settings versus what kind of mouse sensitivity you have or what kind of controller sensitivity you have. But I will show you my controller sensitivity, but this one was more about the gameplay. So let's get into it. So if you guys know, you guys go into your options, then you hit settings, and this is where you're going to change a lot of the in-game settings that I think can help out a lot of you guys. So go to gameplay. Obviously I said this is going to be more about gameplay than actual like mouse settings and stuff and controller settings. So we're going to go over here, and the first setting that I really want to make sure that you guys adjust depending on whether you guys want to help other players or not is your on-call status. If you ever get tired of hearing players call for backup, or if you guys want to hear players call for backup, this is going to be a great one for you. Put all, and this is you will receive calls and backup from all nearby agents that actually go down and they call you. Now if you don't want to hear that, well, you guys can just leave this on off, and then you won't ever get any of that. Or you could just leave it for your friends and clans, and then that way you can surprise your friends if they do go down and do call for help. The auto hide HUD, I definitely recommend this. If you guys look right here, you currently don't see a HUD on my screen, and then that's what it does. It clears up the screen, give you a little bit more of that realism feel. Now as soon as I zoom in, it pops up, right? So that is just something that you guys can have. It'll automatically hide it when you're not in combat, and when you aim, it'll pop up, but if you're not in combat, it will auto hide it. And that's, personally for me, I really like that. Go back into the gameplay settings. Hints, if you guys are new or returning, this might be something you can have on. Once you guys play the game for a while, definitely turn it off. It will clear up a lot of that clutter that pops up. Show damage numbers, 100% recommend this. I personally like this. You guys honestly see me when I put those floating combat where the numbers pop up next to you and they float up. I like it like that, and I'll show you those settings in a second. Show radar, I always have that on. That's going to be in the top left hand corner. Show your connectivity info. I personally like this because sometimes it puts me in West servers. I'm on the East Coast, so I usually try to find a better server if I can't get into one. So if you want to have this on, I would put this yes, and then if you go right here at the bottom where it says social, it says US East, that's where you guys can see where you guys are at. And sometimes if you're in a bad server, you can click on it and there'll be an option to find a new server. So just something for you guys in case you guys get put in a server that you're kind of feeling like you're a little bit on the bad connectivity side, that would be perfect for you guys. So just some little quick tips that a lot of people tend to overlook. Player level visibility, leave this on. This is when you're in the dark zone. You see other players, you can see what there are. The next two settings I wouldn't. The automatic group refill, that's really up to you. That's if you guys do matchmaking, one player leaves, it will automatically kick back on during that mission and allow people to join you. The show skills of group frame, I love this, right? So we're not gonna be able to show you this right here, but I will show you how it looks. So if you look at my UI setting where I have my Banshee pulse and I have my shield, right? Well, when you have players that join you, you typically don't see those two skills. But if you turn that option on, you will see it. And what's good about that is you can kind of know what other people are playing, what other players are running, and then you can be like, all right, this guy has a Reviver Hive, or this guy's running two skills, he might be running a skill build, without even having to inspect their build. So that's just a little key tip for you guys, why I keep mine on. And then we keep going down. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom. We have the show skills, show numeric skill cooldown time. I leave that on. Exit photo mode when taking damage. If you guys are in photo mode, you start to take damage, this would be good, especially if you just don't want to have to accidentally get killed while you're trying to take a cool picture. This might be something for you. Now the GPS line, this is really up to you. I kind of like clutter free when I'm playing the game, but look, I'm going to turn it on real quick and we're going to back out. I'm going to select something. We're going to select this control point. And then you can see there's a GPS line, right? Kind of what you used to see in Division 1, but they give you the option here in Division 2 to turn it off. So come gameplay, and I keep mine off. Now, if you actually like that, well, you can leave that on right there, but I personally like mine off. That's just a little something for you. Now, they do have the enable signature weapon swap effect. I have mine on. Now, for additional field of vision, I personally like mine all the way maxed out. I'll show you what 0 looks like. So 0, this is what 0 looks like. And look how slow my character looks like he's running too. It's also a visual effect, you know, but you can't see more to the left or the right. We're gonna go back in real quick and I'm gonna max it out. 1 second. Here it goes. So we're gonna put 25. We can definitely see more already. And my character already looks like he's moving a lot faster, because if you guys don't know, field of vision gives you the illusion that your character is moving faster, when in reality a lot of times he isn't. So for all of you guys who always ask that, how come some players look like they're moving faster when you're watching their gameplay, that is one thing right there. So I like mine fully maxed out on both. I do play on a monitor just to keep that in mind, but 25-25 is where I go. I do the field of vision while I'm playing and field of vision while aiming. Now when you do this while aiming, the character does look a little bit smaller, so it just depends on how you like playing. I would just adjust these. 25-25 is great. Motion sickness, that's up to you. I have mine off. And then for the HUD tutorials, I have that off too. So just like the tips and tricks that they have on there, both really recommend keeping those off. We go over to the UI setting custom HUD. This is actually pretty good. You can actually adjust a bunch of stuff. This really affects a lot when you're playing something like Conflict. You can change how the score is, where it's kept. It's really up to you. You can change where the radar is at. A lot of different things you guys can do there. So if you guys want to change any of those, well, that's where you guys can do it. The button color mode, classic for me. Scrolling combat text. This is where I was telling you guys, when you guys are shooting enemies and you see the numbers pop up right next to them. Everybody always asks me this. Floating combat. This is the one. The default one is a random spare, but you have the 2D. I like the floating text. I love when I'm hitting the enemy, I can see the numbers instantly popping up, so I know how hard I'm hitting. What I do. Raid speed run. If you like doing raids and you like to know what your time is, you can keep that on. And then the active talents above the crosshairs. So when you're aiming, like say if you proc killer, you can see that it's active, right? While you're aiming in it. And that's what's really cool. You know when you have that special talent, either in sync, killer, those going on. For audio, up to you how you guys want to change this. I'm not going to go into this too much. So for the controls, we have parkour mode during gameplay. I usually keep this off. There's also parkour mode during auto run. You keep this on, so that's when you like do the auto run, where you double click and it automatically sprints. If you're sprinting, it will automatically vault you over items. That's cool if you want to free up a hand and just use your right thumbstick. This is main. You can also do the same thing for all mouse and keyboard. Camera settings. This is the same thing I was telling you guys about the mouse and the camera sensitivities, controller sensitivities. This is personal preference, so I'm not really going to go too far in this, because this is something you guys, whether you guys are using a mouse on PC or you're on controller on PlayStation or Xbox, I keep my camera sensitivity 15, aim sensitivity 15, and then scope sensitivity 3. Now the controller vibration, this is really up to you. If you want that controller vibration, I typically keep mine off on games like this, but on single player games, I typically have it on. Just difference right there. For the button layout, default, dead zone, more just settings for your controller, so we won't go on those. That's really just up to you. Now toggle to sprint, I do have this on where you can just double tap your sprint button, your left joystick for me, and it will automatically sprint. You can do the same thing on PC. And then 180 sprint turn, this is on. Auto look center, I do have this off. And then enable auto run, this is one where you double tap the left joysticks and it automatically will move you forward. So I do like that. That's something, and that'll let you just keep running, and you can just use the right joystick to keep moving. You can do the same thing on PC. You just make sure you check out whatever, I think it might be X, and then it automatically keep you sprinting, and then it goes. Keep going. Movement can exit cover. I love this. Cover, move around with the press of a button. I actually have this off. I like my joysticks to do that. Move around, corner speed, keep that on fast. Aim assist, obviously it's always default on, and that's usually for any game you play nowadays on console. It just most games have it because it's definitely a lot harder to not use it. Grenade aim assist on. Hold to aim, I always put yes. You don't want to lock that in. Cancel skill while aiming, I do love it. So if I'm going to throw out a skill and I were to aim, it will cancel that skill. It won't work with the shield, and it won't work with pulse, but it'll work with, like, if you're going to throw out a hive or throw out one of your other skills. So that's what's really cool about it. Let's head over here. Enter cover on long press, I have that no. So that's about it. And then for graphics for your PC guys, you really just need to see what works best for you. When I play on PC, I do have a bunch of settings I have to change. You can go with ultra settings, you can go with normal, you can go with, so it's just different ones you want to change based on what your PC specs are. So that's not something I can really give you guys. That's something you guys need to take a look at. These are just some that I run on the console side: brightness 15, sharpening, contrast. Neutral lighting I have off. I just feel it makes the game look too dark. You can just see, look, when I hit it, the difference. But it does make it look good though, but it definitely at nighttime, so much harder to see. HDR, pretty much all default on all of these. But yeah, like I said, graphics PC, graphics for a console, totally different. On PC, it's based on what kind of rig you have, so make sure you do that. Now for the voice over IP, I usually have mine on. If you guys don't want to talk to people or hear people, you could put yes. Group volume, this is just some settings. Proximity volume, I keep mine on, like when I'm in the DZ, you can hear people. It's pretty cool. Microphone enabled, you can have that yes. Microphone input threshold, same thing. Microphone volume boost, you can change that too. And then the dark zone voice over IP channel, you can either do it where when you're in the dark zone, it's only your teammates, or if you want to hear the other people, you could put also. That's just up to you. Now there are a few accessibility ones I want to show you, like if you want to use the on-screen keyboard. A lot of people didn't know this. I had to tell people, but if I was in a group, I could tap down on my D-pad and it would pop up the thing. So I recommend, if you guys are looking at putting that setting on, I have to be in a group to actually show you that one, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, I would just tap the down button and then it will send text messages to people in my group. So really cool feature. If your mic's not working, you can say, hey, no mic, I'm just chatting here. And it's a great way for all the people who are on console to get that feature. And then on PC, you guys have that feature too. Text to speech, that, nothing I really keep. Now colorblind mode, I will tell you, a lot of people use this. I have mine none, but like a lot of people use these, and I'm just gonna select one for you. The reason why is because, say if I'm gonna throw a nade, right? So you see how it has the white outline so they can see. A lot of people like that because it not only does that with nades, it does it when people throw nades, it also does it when you have skills, and you can kind of see where that skill is. Like say if there is a booster hive, you know where the booster hive is, or if there's a stinger hive. So that's why a lot of people actually use that, so that way they can see where this is going to be thrown, what's going to happen when they throw skills. A lot of people like that outline. I've never really used it. It's just how I play, but a lot of people I've noticed they do like that, and that's something you guys can check out and see. And that's why sometimes if you look at people's when they show their builds, you can see they usually green gear sets are green, right? But theirs will look blue, teal, like stuff like that. And that's just because they are using colorblind mode. So just in case you guys were wondering, hey, what's that blue gear set? I know a lot of people get confused with that. It is green gear set. That's all it is right there. And then you have everything else is really up to you, how you want the subtitles. I keep mine small. And then for language is where you guys would turn on those subtitles. If you go right here, subtitle mode, I usually do the scripted and dialogue. Some people do scripted, dialogue, and barks. Some people do full captions, and then some people do none. I ended up putting mine on because when I do recorded gameplay, a lot of people ask for it, so it's just something I could put on there. But if you guys don't want to have that, you could just like leave that off like that, and then you can change the subtitles. But yeah, those are all the settings. Those are my settings. Those are some pretty good settings I think a lot of you guys will benefit from if you guys just go through there, mess with them, play with them, and definitely help you guys out. I'm gonna wrap up the video here, guys. Appreciate the support. If you guys could do me one good favor, leave a thumbs up, and if you guys enjoyed the video, hey, drop a comment. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, nothing but skills out. Take it easy, everybody.